being filmed. That camera is my eyeball. The eyeball is the camera. It's all just there. So. Yeah, illusion. This here is a real Zimbabwe bank. $100 trillion. It's worth 34p. $100 trillion. Dr. Evil would be proud. So yeah, talking about the Matrix. I love things like this. When this comes out, someone from Zimbabwe sends me some money. And it's like, wow, here's the Matrix falling apart. You know, like Israel banning Noam Chomsky going into the country. That's the Matrix collapsing. It's falling apart. It's becoming ridiculous. It's theater. I mean, we might as well have 100 trillion Brazilian gazillion notes with the zeros going off the page. It's not real. It's all just bollocks. So what the hell is going on? I don't know, but you know, I'm just the guy that you guys wanted to come and talk here. So. What's going on is, since the agricultural revolution, our left brain is trying to organize things, we're trying to make things better, we've got utopian visions. Has anyone here heard of the Venus Project, or the Zeitgeist movement? Mm-hmm. Yeah. My personal opinion currently is it's a benign cult. I think it's a cult. Yeah. I don't think it's going to hurt anyone, but it's a cult. And they demand followers. Hey, we've got the high priest, Jack Fresco, this 94-year-old, same age as David Rockefeller. And yeah, we're all desperate for a utopia, a vision. You know, capitalism, communism, socialism, all the isms to try and organize things, when in fact the problem is trying to organize things. That's the inherent fundamental issue at stake. We are indigenous, beautiful creatures of planet Earth. We're meant to be that in nature. Any attempt to organize things is doomed to failure. Communism, yeah, killed, probably I'd say, over 1 billion people. Let's go there, let's say it, probably did. And what this says here, communism, there are some lies that lodge so deep in the hopes of man that they can never be killed, no matter how many are executed to make the lie true. Comes back to Einstein saying you can't solve a problem with the same level of consciousness that caused it. So, government, organization of human beings into little units, economic units, it's shit. So what you're trying to do with a different way of organizing things, you're using the same level of consciousness to try and fix something which is inherently broken. You've heard the expression, you can't polish a turd. You can't. And what this expression means here, like there are some lies that lodge so deep. There's a lie that we are all taught that you can organize people into a happy society, into a happy government, happy taxpayers. This lie is ingrained so deeply in our brainwashing from the age of 5 to on 5 until the rest of our lives is brainwashing. That no matter how many people are killed, no matter how many Iraqi children are blown to pieces, no matter how many Jewish people were gassed, these lies are still there. No matter how many people are killed, attempt to make this lie true. But you can't make a lie true, it's a lie. Organizing people is a lie. You're all animals, you're all spiritual human beings, and no one can tell you ever what to do. And that's the spirit you need to go out there every time a policeman or council tax official or magistrate tries to tell you otherwise. Just say, sorry, don't believe it anymore. The Sydney Morning Herald. This figure is actually wrong. The recent figures from the UN, asshole organization, anyway. 36,000 people are dying of starvation per day. Per day. That's a big figure per minute. And yeah, you know, I live in London, you've got these people in their Rolls Royces, the Bentleys, the Lamborghinis, you know, the guys doing cocaine, prostitutes, rich Arab millionaires picking up 14-year-old girls in nightclubs. Whilst this is the fundamental truth of the luxury we enjoy, of the technocratic, technologically advanced world. David Cameron talking about fair Britain, you know, talking about how we all have to tighten our belts a little bit more now because the banks got it wrong. You know, if I can maybe, it's a pity there's no children in the audience here because I just want to plant some seeds. And one thing you can do is firebomb McDonald's. Firebomb McDonald's, make sure there's no one in there, but firebomb it, film it, put it on YouTube. Beautiful art. You've seen those golden arches. I don't really mean that, but firebomb McDonald's. So yeah, like this, to a human being, which you all are, and I am, makes you really rage inside. And but it's a perfect indicator that, you know, we can't carry on the way we're carrying on. Africa, before we, or the West, went in there and did a genetic holocaust, because it was the best looking, the strongest Africans that got turned into slaves and taken over to America. The runts were left behind. And so there was a genetic intelligence holocaust in Africa for hundreds of years, where all the strongest, cleverest people were taken as slaves. Obviously, it's the kind of slaves you want. The best looking, the strongest, tallest. And who knows what that does to the collective consciousness of a whole continent. What does this? This is what it does. And this is why I think the whole of society isn't worth it. It's not. I might seem a bit of a hypocrite with my megaphone and my camera going out there, but I will use the tools of the system to bring about an absurd ending of the system. And yeah, it still gets me every time. And I know at the back you can't really read that, but what this does is when we spend per hour on this planet, per hour, enough money to feed every single child. And it's fear. Fear sells more than sex, and it's the utter fear of each other. And I always say, men and women, naturally, when you're living in your indigenous farm or city, you don't want to go and blow the shit out of other people, because the best you can get from going to war, it's the best case scenario, is you come back with mental problems and, psychological problems because you've done bad things. At very worst, you get blown to pieces, and the middle ground is, which is likely to happen, you come back missing a leg, or you got a colostomy bag, or you're never the same because you've seen your fellow Marines or soldiers shooting women and children. It happens every day. And there's figures here which don't even make sense to me, like $3.5 trillion spent in nuclear preparation in 50 years. $3.5 trillion. And this is the world we live in. In Israel there, per capita, every year, the Israelis spend $1,600 per human being on weapons. And hard to be optimistic about this, but we are starting to wake up as a species. And it's not a coincidence that during this time the internet is here, and the internet is, I think, the greatest tool we ever have, because instantly you can get information around the world. Bit of a funny one, this one, but all the technological advances we've had have been a force for good and evil. And what that says is Nazi super science, for when regular super science is just not evil enough. And there's, as that last few slides ago, how power corrupts. Give anyone technology and power, and you'll have things like the Nazis sprouting. And I haven't got enough time in this presentation to go into who funded the Nazis. It was the same people that funded the Allies. It was just designed to create chaos and warfare and a lot of brutality.
It was the Rothschilds.
The Rothschilds, exactly. The Zionists, the Rothschilds. As people have said, the Zionists are the biggest enemies of the Jews. And they'll keep playing that Holocaust card because it will keep killing more and more people. So yeah, every human action since the agricultural revolution has been a departure from the state of nature and has allowed hierarchies, inequalities, slaveries, and hysteria to dominate the human consciousness. We did it for a reason, though, to learn from our mistakes. And I love the film Avatar. I've watched it twice at the cinema in 3D. It gets me every time. You take away from a film what you want to take away from it. On one level, it's a big Hollywood corporate production. On another level, it's a perfect metaphor for the left brain, machine-like mind of the imperialists and the right brain, spiritual goddess side of the Navi, the blue people. And it basically shows how we call these people primitive, and they're so much more advanced than we are. They're the way we used to be. And I don't believe in space-time anyway. I think the Native Americans 10,000 years ago, or the hell with it, 500 years ago, the Native Americans in tune with nature. How much more advanced do you need to be to live a low-impact, truly spiritual with nature? Like every time the Native Americans killed a buffalo, they do a prayer to say thank you for the death. And we learn from our mistakes, and we do. And you can't learn from other people's mistakes, you have to learn from your own. And what I see, my big issue with the Venus Project is that they see this wonderful utopian, technologically advanced world where everyone